If you want to find out how you can get a pass to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, stick around to the end of this video for details. One of the reasons we find The Shining so disturbing is the psychological horror and mind games that director Stanley Kubrick plays on us. If Universal can employ some similar tactics for its upcoming Shining attraction at Halloween Horror Nights, it's going to be a success.
This starts with the layout of the hotel. In the movie, Kubrick subconsciously drives the viewers crazy with impossible windows and doors, hallways that shouldn't be there, nonsensical dead ends, and changing corridors.
Obviously, this won't be possible because it's going to be a physical location that we get to walk through as opposed to a movie that takes advantage of the power of editing. But they could still use the fact that this is a temporary set to their advantage. In previous Horror Nights walkthroughs, we see different movie locations connected by using dark areas and fog as transitions. Instead of that, we think they could use optical illusion matte paintings to make some hallways look deeper than they actually are. Then we can take a turn into a room, and when we come out, we'll be in another location. This will be disorienting to guests and make it feel like you're wandering through a maze.
As we wander through these winding hallways, they can take advantage of open doors to show off iconic scenes, like where Wendy turns to see the bear blowjob thing, and a variety of hotel guests in different rooms that stare at us. This would be an excellent way to have the bloody elevator scene from down a hallway and allow blood to gush at us. It would have to be contained behind a form of plexiglass with a drain system so it could reset.
There are a few rooms that we don't just want to see from a distance though, like room 237, the Gold Room, the Colorado Lounge, and the Torrance Room. If I don't get to walk out on that iconic carpet pattern, then this whole thing is a failure. The biggest problem these locations pose is that they're either wide open locations or dead ends. Most of the haunted houses at Universal contain skinny corridors with one set path for guests to walk on.
Wide open locations such as the Gold Room and Colorado Lounge could make use of furniture arrangements and possibly velvet rope to guide people along a certain path. Dead-end areas like the Torrance Room could make use of breakaway walls that open a new path.
For example, imagine you're being chased by Jack Torrence through the apartment. You're led into the bathroom and Wendy shuts the door behind you. Jack bangs on the door, says, "Here's Johnny!" Then, Wendy opens the window, allowing guests to access a slide or ramp through the snow to get down to safety.
This scenario puts the theme park guests in the shoes of Danny, which we think is the most frightening way to experience the classic scenes. The maze would have to start around the climax of the story, where Jack begins to chase Danny around the hotel. This allows the guests to be chased through the entire attraction to find their escape. Being able to hear Jack yelling as they make their escape can build tension while allowing Jack to occasionally find us during our quest. Some rooms can appear larger than us to give off the feel that we are in the mind of a child, and play on having little control over the situations we are placed in. Placing the Grady twins in our path as a blockade would assist in keeping everyone on track. The only friendly faces would be Wendy and Dick Halloran as they guide us.
Another major theme in the movie is mirrorism. In addition to all the symmetrical sets and shots in the movie, mirrors are literally used to look into the hotel's past. In fact, all of Jack's encounters with the ghosts of the Overlook take place in front of mirrors, providing a shining reflection into times gone by. I've actually theorized that Jack literally sees these figures through mirrors. Take this scene where Jack is getting more worked up with each mirror that he passes, or this scene where Jack seems to be looking past Delbert Grady and conversing with his reflection. It turns out that the theme park industry has some pretty cool uses for mirrors through the use of digital overlays. Remember the hitchhiking ghosts from the Haunted Mansion? Imagine a similar effect where you're traversing the depths of room 237. You're approached by a beautiful woman and turn to the mirror to find that she is not as she appears. The digital mirror overlays aren't the only technology that we can see working to the advantage of this maze. Last year, we visited a Universal walkthrough based on the Christmas horror movie Krampus that used temperature-controlled rooms to give the theme park guests a chill. Pun intended, when they walked into areas that are supposed to be like an outdoor segment. This change in temperature physically heightens our senses and puts us more on edge, making any scares that take place in these areas have a much greater effect on us.
That leads us to how we want the attraction to end. The only way to do it is to chase patrons into the hedge maze. All of the walkthroughs you usually see at Halloween Horror Nights are typically referred to as mazes, despite the fact that there is only one route you can take through the entire thing in most cases. Having an actual maze creates a problem for the park though, which is that people trying to find their way takes time and slows down the already extremely long lines. Instead of having one path, we think it should be split into a few possible outcomes, each to their own exit. This would give people a reason to go back through and try out different paths and allow a unique experience, every time. Doing this also means you would hear the screams and terror from other guests and be unsure if Jack was around the next turn. Splitting it into a few possible exits will also provide relief to the slow flow of foot traffic that keeps the lines from moving quickly.
And once guests do finally make it out of that maze, I can think of no better final image to walk away from than the realistic sculpture of Jack Nicholson frozen in the snow at the end of the movie. That covers what we do want to see. We also want to cover a few cliches that we don't want to see. The Shining does have some great jump scares, and I know they'll do a great job of realizing those in the form of a haunted house, but I hope they don't resort to unnecessary things that don't fit the tone of The Shining, like people jumping out of paintings, or corpses coming to life, or anything like that. I hope they don't have the characters unnecessarily over-zombified, as we often see in these kind of things. And finally, the psychological terror of The Shining comes from what you don't see moving, not what you do see moving. Any kind of floating chair or dancing hedge animals can be left out of this one. Okay, remember at the beginning of this video how I mentioned the details of how you can get a pass to Halloween Horror Nights? Well, we actually can't provide you with one because we're just some people who made this video for fun, but you can always go online and buy one yourself.
Wait! You can't promise them stuff you don't have. This is how the hate comments start.
What? It was funny though.
Funny for you. I thought you had a pass sitting in the drawer, but no, when I checked, there wasn't one.
Well, whatever. The YouTube comments are usually pretty good at taking a joke, right?
I know this was something new for us, so if you're interested in content like this, let us know in the poll right here. Also, comment what you want to see in this Shining maze, or any Halloween attractions you'd like to see this year in general.
If you're new to this channel, my name is CZ, and I apparently don't know how to pronounce the word cran.
And I am Cinder, and I need to practice saying Halloran 30,000 times. Dick Halloran.
Halloran.
Halloran. Dick Halloran as they get... Halloran.
Halloran.
Hallow. Dick Halloran as they get...
Hal.
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 Oh. Ran.
Halloran.
Yeah.
And Dick Halloran as they guide us.
You didn't change it.
Halloran.
Halloran.
Halloran. Ha.
Loran.
Loren.
Loran.
Loran. Dick Halloran as they guide us.
Do it one more time.
Ugh. And Dick Halloran as they guide us. Did I get it?
That was pretty close.
You know what, Mr. Perfectionist?
Remember to subscribe to CZsWorld for new horrors every week. Ring that death bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Assuming we both survive.